Welcome back into the Sports Source. This segment brought to you by Madisonville Marine. No matter what kind of boat you're looking for, they've got it. That could be pre-owned, that could be brand new, that could be pontoon boats, deck boats, boats for the outdoorsman. They've got John boats that are fantastic. You name it, they have it at Madisonville Marine. There's a reason that we have said there's no better place to buy a boat, and they've been proving that reason since 1976. That's price, that's selection, that's customer service. Madisonville Marine, madmarine.com, and Madisonville Marine at Highway 411 North in Madisonville. Get down there and see them this week. All right, wanted to talk about in this segment Tennessee's play selection, which it's great. I mean, it's hard to argue with the points and the yards that they put up last year, carry the team. But if we're going to pick some nits, Bob and I were on the phone yesterday, and then there were nicks being picked because we were wondering, what are we doing? And we were just chatting, and you felt the same way. Late in games, they have a tendency to go a little off script, it seems.
I have come to the conclusion that you run a 2-minute offense the entire game until you get to 2 minutes. And then for some reason you can't do it. And when you and I were talking, I went back to the bowl game last year against Purdue. You got the ball back, you had 40 seconds to go, thereabout. And what did you do? You ran, and you didn't really run to get back and run another play, but then you ran again. You mismanaged, I thought, the clock. I thought you mismanaged the play calling. Well, yesterday, as you were saying, man, you've got Hyde all day long. He's out there 7-8 yard, man. You're
3
in a
passes
rhythm.
in a
You're
row.
going down through there. And when you ran with Jabari Small, it was sort of like, man, 30 seconds ran off the clock.
You did a good job of not saying
I
that.
just about did say it. But you let 30 seconds run off the clock, and I thought that running play got you out of a rhythm that you were in. Because after that, what happened? Didn't he get sacked? Didn't one hooker sack?
Yeah, on the third down.
And so I think that Tennessee got its own self out of its own rhythm. English is a hard language.
Okay.
But you've got rhythm.
Yeah. So that's my point. I think that Heupel in the last 2 minutes just doesn't seem to be a good play call.
Guys?
I didn't like what they did running it to Small. Look, Pitt was giving you that pass to Hyatt. Yep. And you can take it all day and just nitpick them down the field, just nickel and dime them down the field.
And if they do step up, there's your move, right over the top.
Yeah. And when he gave it to Small, when Small got tackled on that run, to me, I think Josh Heupel went into, all right, we're playing for overtime.
Because they just let 30 seconds roll off.
Right.
Yeah.
So I didn't like that call. Now, there were 77 plays that they ran, but that's the one that stands out to me as like, boy, that's not the direction.
In an overtime game, it comes down to one play. It could have come down to one play.
I told John, it's not because it just didn't work.
Right.
It's just because your offense has something going. Yeah. And why don't you stay?
Right, exactly. And I think a lot of times the coaches get in that mindset of, okay, we've ran this many passing plays. Now we got to trick them with the run play. And it's like, no, if they're not stopping it and they're playing the same defense and you're giving it to you, take it, right? So sometimes it's not about evening out things. It's just take it what they're giving you.
Yeah. I kept thinking, and I've said this to you, and I've said it on the show a million times whenever these kind of situations pop up, Bobby Humphrey toss sweep 28 was the Alabama game, I think, in '86, where Bama just realized, we can just flip this thing to Bobby Hurley all day. So that's what we're going to do. You're just going to carry it every dang time. Will, you go back to the Arkansas 98 when Tennessee, after the Sterner fumble, what'd they do?
Travis Henry left, Travis Henry right. Travis Henry left, Travis Henry right. Yeah, that was the game plan. There were no other plays.
So if Pitt is giving you Jalen Hyatt, I would just continue to take it. Yeah. The Purdue thing, you had a quarterback who'd thrown for 350 yards to that point, and you open this 40 seconds to go, you're at your own 40.
Everybody talks about the overtime play, the call winning game. I actually kind of thought you lost that game then. They hadn't stopped your passing game.
Yeah.
So you stopped it for them.
Yeah,
I don't understand that.
That's an interesting one to watch. You know, there are positives we point out and say, it's one to watch. There are negatives you point out and one to watch. That's two big games here. One they lost, one they won, both in overtime, where I question the play calling in the last minute or two, which I find interesting for a guy who, as Bob says, nails it the other 58 minutes with his 2-minute offense.
And just real quick, go back to the Kentucky game last year. They had to score in the Kentucky game, so what were they doing there in the fourth quarter? They were running a wide open offense. And I mean, it looks like there's a difference between we have to score and, okay, scoring would be all right. You know?
Or scoring, or if we make a big mistake, now we lose this game.
Yeah.
And that, you know, kind of that halfway. I'm not sure if I need to take the risk to win or if I need to hold back,
Right.
and I'm going to be kicking myself for risking too much.
All right, very good, guys. When we come back, Sterling Hinton has a player he wants to tell you about that he feels made some good progressive strides yesterday. Daniel Hood's going to tell you an area where they can make some progress, need to make some progress, and I'll give you a hint, punt protection. And then we'll also have Josh Ward out here to show you three areas where Tennessee completely flipped the script, or sort of flipped the script, flipped it enough to flip the result from last year's Pitt game. All that's next, and we got plenty more to come. Come on back on the Sports Source.